SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom is a 3D platformer collectathon and easily one of the best in its genre. Each mechanic and every asset feels lovingly crafted, curated, and placed for the purpose of pure, unfiltered play. It's a game meant to be loved and cherished forever. It might seem like a run-of-the-mill licensed title on the surface, and it was received as one back in 2003, but it is truthfully as timeless as the franchise which spawned it. Let's talk about why. Fundamentally, Battle for Bikini Bottom is a collectathon. You explore semi-open areas in search of golden spatulas, and unlock new areas dependent on the quantity you've collected. The game delightfully spins creative concepts into every facet of this well-worn formula. Let's take something as rudimentary as, say, breakable crates. You smash them and stuff comes out. This is a staple of the genre. Rather than stop there, Battle for Bikini Bottom gave the crates personality. Literally. Their eyes follow you as you jaunt around, and they all have different expressions and facial designs which signify their mechanical functions. The stone-faced tiki crates are immune to all non-explosive attacks. The standard crates are default brown with big eyes and a wide grin. The shy crates have a smug little smirk and vanish as you approach. You get the idea. The visual characteristics of these crates inform you of their gameplay characteristics, thus making the mere act of smashing boxes an intimate and playful affair. Whenever you spot a pile of crates, your mind runs wild with all the possible interactions, especially since they're laid out like puzzle pieces. Whether you choose to bubble bowl, ground slam, melee, uppercut, throw something, or any combination thereof, your action is decided not only by how the crates react to each assault, but how they react to each other. These unassuming boxes full of sparkly stuff are an entire ecosystem of play, and that praise extends to every aspect of the game. The combat, for example, initially seems like a middle-of-the-road button masher until you figure out that everything has physics. Your bubble wand and bubble bowl send foes bouncing around into each other, into crates, and into enemy spawners. This, by default, makes player positioning a huge factor, and enables much higher skill expression. You can chain incredible combos together and enact extremely efficient beatdowns if you play your cards right. That isn't to downplay the challenge these enemies present or their commendable variety. Much like the crates, every encounter with robot baddies is rife with risk-reward calculations. Every move at your disposal has some caveat or quirk to it, giving it character and situational utility. This is almost as far from brainless as you can reasonably get, and combat isn't even the core focus. The platforming itself is the hardest to describe, but easily the most important. It's the vehicle, you know? The thing which carries all the other mechanics forward, and like everything else, it's unassuming at first, consisting of a standard jump, double jump, and ground slam. But each of these mediocre moves is greatly modified upon interaction with the combat mechanics, level hazards, and environmental design. Be it physics platforms, harrowing jumps, or plain old pathfinding, everything is spaced just the right distance, so traversal requires real effort and ingenuity, especially in sequence. And if you come up a bit short, fly too far, or mistime your leaps, the result is surprisingly costly. Again, real risk-reward and real interactivity. As you hop around at any given moment, you're thinking not only about your movement, but the threat of nearby enemies and their projectile trajectory, the sway of those shifting platforms ahead, and your singular place in all of it. It all clicks, it all rhymes, it's all a cohesive and thoughtful experience. At no point during play did it feel like my mind was left to wander. I was always given actual challenge, actual stimulation, because this is a game meant to be played, and it loves being played with. What I'm saying, I guess, is that Battle for Bikini Bottom has immense gameplay density. No matter where you turn or what angle you approach from, everything everywhere demands your attention and input. That may sound like a given, but I've rarely seen a collectathon with this much devotion to active player engagement. And that's because the game takes its lot in life not as an obligation, but an opportunity. Every inch of space, figuratively and otherwise, is carefully utilized to ensure something interactive, engaging, and lively is always on screen, without cluttering the landscape or interface. The combat, movement tech, level design, and world themes are all bursting with detail, nuance, and deeply respect player skill. Because this is a platformer collectathon, people love platformer collectathons, and this game loves being a platformer collectathon. But that's just the gameplay, you know, the raw stuff. What about all the sponginess in this SpongeBob game? Remarkably, it's almost, if not quite, as splendid. In the same way it's dense with game design, Battle for Bikini Bottom is dense with personality and polish. Meaningful references, beloved characters, and familiar landmarks don't just populate the world, they give it life. From the base story to the game objectives to the NPC dialogue to the character barks, everything has a thick yellow layer of surreal absurdism. This flavor doesn't just exist alongside the gameplay, it enhances the sense of place and purpose. Traipsing across Goo Lagoon in search of stolen sunscreen and battling a big jellyfish to acquire its mythical jelly are infinitely more memorable and impactful thanks to their spongy absurdity. Each level justifies your misadventures with some grand, wacky initial incident, and as you spend time resolving the dilemma, you naturally and incidentally come across several smaller tasks, each of which not only nets you a collectible but more humorous dialogue. As you talk more, explore more, and laugh more, you'll see the way each stage differs in design philosophy, with the kelp forest being a daunting maze, SpongeBob's dream being a series of rigorous platforming gauntlets, and man, I just realized I haven't even talked about the alternate character abilities, and how they encourage you to see each setting from a new perspective, or the incredible tutorial, which is in itself a miniature collectathon, or how the combo system unites both the combat and crate smashing into a singular whole, or how the level design is so immaculately interwoven you're expected to do things like this. Or, look, I've got to stop somewhere. SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom is remarkable, not because it does anything particularly original, but because it so thoroughly demonstrates respect and admiration for its genre, its license, and its players. There are countless first-party AAA titles with less design polish than this.